Good morning, or hello, whatever time it is for you. I hope this finds you well. And I've decided that I will start today with the first part of a 6-part series. The series will be based upon reactions that a human being tends to have when a disturbing situation arises. So this may sound extreme, but in my realms of mental health, we would call it trauma, or traumatic response, the trauma response, the automatic response that happens in our mind and bodies. And so we will be exploring this over the next 6 classes that I record. There are 6 things that happen to us, and for this first day, I'll list all 6. And I may add a video that goes into them, details the 6 a little bit more. But the first thing that happens to us when a difficult or traumatic situation arises is we lose the ability to predict the future. Not that we ever had it. But we feel that something has disrupted us and we are no longer in control, and feel a loss of being able to predict the future. I smile every time I say that because we never know what the future has to hold. But it can feel really disturbing when that happens. So noticing, oh, I thought that I knew how my day was going to go, and something just completely derailed that. So, for instance, the weather can do that to people. I was planning on an outdoor class this morning, and the wind just isn't going to cooperate there. So my plans for the start of my day completely were disrupted and derailed. And so I could allow that to transform my day in some way, or I would suggest that I think part of it is noticing the difference between the exterior environment that we're in, situations that we're in, and learning to have control over the interior response that we have to that. So I see this first step as that we may not be able to predict the future or the weather, but we are able to create an environment for ourselves internally and with some external skills as well to change that experience for ourselves. So for instance, building a schedule or a routine is really important in being able to allow our brains and bodies to know that we do have some sort of control over what's going on. And I find yoga itself to be a practice in this way. We know that when we're on the mat, we are taking some sort of control in our lives. So for those of you who are joining, you're already in the practice of being able to have some sort of control over how your day moves forward. So that's the first one. Very quickly, the next 5 classes that I'll do. The second response that we have is that we feel we can't do anything, that we're immobile. And it's really important during that time to be able to move and to act. So we'll explore that The third thing that happens when a disturbing situation arises is that we tend to isolate. And that is actually happening right now in different ways. We'll explore that. The fourth class will be around the numbing response that happens. So when a difficult situation arises, we tend to want to numb it out rather than be present with it. The fifth class will be on our reaction to time. When a disturbing situation happens, time tends to freeze and we feel like the situation will stay that way. So we'll explore that. And then the final sixth session, we will explore safety, because when these situations arrive in our lives, we lose a sense of safety. So we will be playing with those moving forward. So this first one, that, we have this automatic response. Oh no, I can't predict the future. I can't predict my day. I can't predict my life. I don't know what's happening next week. So this is very prevalent for us all right now, I would say, in some form or another. And so for the practice today, we'll be doing the sun salutation, and I will break it down a little bit more. So I'd encourage you may already know this practice, and I would encourage you to maybe move at a slower rate while you're doing it and explore what you can have control over in a different way in the poses. And I'm doing the sun salutation because it's a beautiful way to wake up and create a ritual for ourselves and our lives. It can be done in short time, 5 minutes, or you could take hours to continue doing it. So doing what is best for you, but maybe begin to create, if you don't already have one, a ritual or a rhythm for yourself each morning that you may bring this into your life. So we'll begin. And we'll begin in a seated position on our mats. So finding a comfortable seated position that works for you. And softening the gaze or closing the eyes. And just taking a moment to notice how the day began for you. Did anything that I just say resonate for you already in your day? Feel like some outside external situation, person, animal, whatever it may be, disrupt the flow of what you thought was going to be your morning. And can you just observe that, notice that, inviting a sense of kindness there. Just observing that there was a thought, this is how my day is going to go, and already by 8 o'clock in the morning, you may have found that disrupted. Can you notice that? Encouraging kindness here. And then beginning to bring yourself more inward to the interior environment of yourself. Can you also notice that you're here? You're still here participating in this experience right now. Noticing the sounds around you, there may feel like there's still disturbances. Maybe people walking in and out of the room or cars going by, whatever it may be. Can you just notice that? And allow yourself to see that as the practice for today. Noticing these things externally that may cause a disruption. Noticing the response that the body has to those disruptions. And then allowing yourself to go in, moving into your internal environment. Noticing that is all we have control over changing. That we cannot ever predict the future. Never is a big word, and we may feel like we can. I know what that person's going to say if I do this. Can we engage a sense of curiosity and really be honest in knowing that we cannot predict the future? A pot may fall in the kitchen behind us. Couldn't predict that or the body's response to it. A dog might bark. Couldn't predict that, or maybe we think we could have. And we have no control over it. If you slowly and gently observe that, engage in kindness and curiosity, could you gently go inwards, noticing that we do have control over the inward landscape and environment. Just taking a moment to notice what's happening inward. Beginning to notice the breath. There's no need to change that, even though that you do have control over that right now. Can you start by just noticing? Without changing it, just becoming aware of what the breath is automatically doing right now. And then can you begin to engage this internal control that you do have always, even though that's a big word. Can you engage that control and begin to breathe in a little bit deeper than before and breathe out a little bit longer than before? Lengthening the breath. Allowing the mind to gently rest on the breath. Allowing everything around you to quiet. Using the breath as an anchor for this practice. The breath is the connection between the mind and the body. It helps to control the body. Can you notice that here? You notice the breath's influence over the mind. Breathing in a little more deeply and breathing out a little bit longer. Slowing, gaining control. On your next inhale, gently lifting the chin towards the sky. And on the exhale, tucking the chin to the chest. Beginning to create some movement with the body, breathing in, lifting the chin. And breathing out, tucking the chin, and allowing yourself to do this in your own time, with your own breath. This is your own practice. This is your mind and body. Allow yourself to go inwards, linking the breath with this movement. On your exhale, allowing the chin to rest at the chest, continuing to breathe. Allowing the chin to rest, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. Can you allow the shoulders to release with each exhale? And if it feels right, placing the palms together in front of the heart. And taking a moment, offering yourself a conscious intention for this practice. Noticing what, if anything, comes to mind. Maybe it has something to do with gaining control of your inner environment and landscape. And then on your next inhale, lifting the arms up, stretching, reaching as high as possible. Can you elongate the spine here? Breathing into the vertebrae. And exhale, allow the arms to come down to the floor. Can you reach through the top of the head, feeling the base of the spine on the floor? Feeling the long vertebrae in the spine. Taking a few deep breaths into the vertebrae, and the space in between. And gently making a few head rolls, doing whatever feels right for the neck. Listening to the neck and the spine if they happen to be talking to you. That's an internal process. Listen to it. Reversing directions. And then taking a few shoulder rolls in one direction. Listening to the sound of the shoulders. And then reversing direction. Allowing a twist of the wrists. Moving of the fingers. Reversing that direction. And slowly coming to a standing position. Feeling the feet on the floor, on the mat. And then maybe just playing with the feet here. Doing anything that feels good. Warming up the ankles. Maybe stretching the toes. Allowing the body to know we're about to move it. Waking it up. Inhaling, lifting the arm. Reaching the body long, feeling the feet on the floor. Hands lifted. And exhaling, strong arms reaching out to the sides. Feeling the shoulder blades reaching behind, interlacing the fingers, dropping them down, shoulders away from the ears, curling the tailbone under. Gentle stretch here. Breathing into it. And if you'd like to take it a little bit further, swan diving forward and allowing the arms to lift. Doing whatever works for you here. Allowing the joints to warm up. Maybe a few more stretches. Whatever feels good for you. And then finding yourself at the front top of the mat. And lifting the toes. Lifting the heels. Playing with feeling the soles of the feet on the mat. See if you can allow yourself to really focus the mind on the soles of the feet, feeling the connection with what is below you. And then tightening the muscles in the lower legs around the bones, tightening the muscles in the upper legs, curling the tailbone under, feeling the core engage, lifting up through the chest, shoulders drop away from the ears, rolling them up and back, engaging the arms, fingers. Lifting through the top of your head. This is mountain. Can you take a moment to notice how mountain feels on the body? Tadasana. Feeling the soles of the feet and lifting through the top of the head. Can you feel the strength of mountain here? Noticing that this pose can be done anywhere, at any time. Feeling your breath in this pose. This is the start of the sun salutation. Feel this pose. Take 3 more breaths here. Noticing what's going on in your internal environment. Is it frustrating that I'm not moving? And can you gain control over that with curiosity? You settle into this pose, noticing your internal landscape. Inhaling, lifting the arms, Exhaling, the arms can go wide, and I would encourage you to play with what feels good for you, or palms can remain together as you bend forward into a forward fold. You could play with the arms there. And forward fold could be wherever you're comfortable or your body allows, so it does not have to be all the way down to the mat. Find your own version of forward fold. Breathing into it. Feeling the feet on the mat. The head heavy and the neck long. Feel the upper body waterfalling over the mountain of the lower body. And take 3 breaths here. Noticing the internal landscape. How can you gain control of that right now? Is the mind trying to tell you this position is horrible or something else? And can you allow it to stay curious and go back to the breath, the anchor? On your next inhale, hands come to the shins or the thighs, and the head lifts, creating a flat back. So it's the third pose. Gaze is down, neck is long. Breathe in here. Then allowing the hands to meet the mat and bending the knees as much as it takes to get there. Bringing the right leg back into a high lunge. And the left leg to meet it. A high plank or low plank. Your choice. If you're in high plank, arms strong, shoulders away from the ears, pushing through the heels. And breathe in here. Bending the elbows, slowly lowering to the mat. Forehead meets, tops of the feet flat. Inhaling, head lifts. Cobra. Taking 3 breaths here. Gaining control of the internal landscape. Forehead to mat on the exhale. Curling the toes and lifting up, however works for your body, into downward facing dog. Lifting the hips high. Chest to upper thighs. And then bending the knees, looking forward at the hands, and walking or hopping to the top of the mat, hanging in forward fold. Waterfalling. Bending the knees, slowly rolling up. Engaging again in mountain. That's the sun salutation. We'll do it on the other side. So taking 3 breaths here in mountain. Notice what's happening for yourself and allow yourself with playing with the internal control that you do have. If the mind is busy, anchoring it on the breath and inhaling, lifting the arms, exhaling, forward fold. Finding any version of the poses that work for you. Taking 3 breaths here. Bending the knees. Sorry. Hands to shins. Inhaling. Lifting the head. Gaze remains toward the floor. Flat back. Taking 3 breaths here. Can you allow yourself to hear your breath? Allowing the hands to meet the mat, bending the knees as much as it takes, and bringing the left leg back. High lunge. Right leg to meet, high or low plank. Gaze towards the floor. And taking 3 breaths here. Internal control. Bending the elbows, slowly lowering down. Forehead meets the mat. On your next inhale, lifting the head, cobra. Taking 3 breaths here. Noticing how it is to breathe in certain poses. Allowing the head to meet the mat, curling the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Hips high, head low and loose. Breathe in here, 3 breaths. A young girl once said to me, "Oh, I understand if you learn to breathe in really difficult poses, you can breathe in life." When things get challenging and difficult in life, we have our breath. Learning to do it in poses helps with that. Bending the knees, looking forward at the hands, and walking or stepping to the top of the mat, hanging in forward fold. 3 breaths here. Noticing how it is to breathe in different poses. Bending the knees, rolling up. Finding your mountain. Inhaling, lifting the arms. Exhaling, forward fold. Head is long and heavy. On your next inhale, hands to shins, flat back. On your next exhale, forward fold. Feeling the hands on the mat, bending the knees, bringing the right leg back. Left leg to meet. High or low plank. Breathing here. Bending the elbows, slowly lowering down. On your next inhale, lifting up, cobra. Playing with the movements, and maybe there's a bigger curl here. Noticing what feels good for you. On your next exhale, head to mat. Curling the toes, inhaling, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forward at the hands, walking or hopping to the top of the mat, hanging in forward fold. Bending the knees slightly, slowly rolling up. Engaging in your mountain. Feeling the feet, the soles of the feet. Lifting through the head. Tailbone curled, core is engaged. How strong can you be here? Inhaling, arms left. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, left foot back, high lunge. Right foot to meet, high plank or low plank. Bending the elbows, slowly lowering down, forehead meets the mat. Inhaling, cobra. Exhaling, forehead to mat. Inhaling, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forward at the hands, walking or hopping to the top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up. Mountain. In each pose, can you allow yourself to feel it strongly? Can you have an active pose rather than a passive at each step? I could be standing limply here, or I could have all my muscles engaged. Notice what you're choosing consciously. Allowing the conscious mind to have more control over the subconscious. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, hands to shin, flat back. Exhaling, hands to mat, forward fold. Bringing the right leg back, left leg to meet, high or low plank. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, lifting, cobra. Exhale, head to mat. Inhale, curling the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forward at the hand, walking or hopping to the top of the mat, forward fold. Bending the knees, rolling up, mountain. Inhaling, arms left. Exhaling, forward fold. Hands meet the mat, bringing the left leg back, right leg to meet, higher low plank. Inhaling and exhaling, bending the elbows, forehead to mat. On your next inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead to mat. Curling the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, looking forward, walking to the top of the mat, hanging in forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Inhaling, arms left. Exhaling, forward fold. Hands meet the shins, lifting up, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hands meet the mat, right leg back, left leg to meet, high or low plank. Inhaling, exhaling, bringing the forehead to the mat. Inhaling, lifting up, cobra. Exhaling, forehead to mat. Inhaling, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, walking or hopping to the top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Engage in it. Notice when, as the speed picks up, is there less control in the body? Speeding up may cause the automatic brain to take over rather than our conscious brain. Can we notice that and maybe slow it down, feeling each pose? Inhaling, lifting the arms. Exhaling, forward fold. Feeling every move, every breath. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bringing the right leg back, left leg to meet, higher low plank. Inhaling, exhaling, bending the elbows, lowering, forehead meets the mat. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, forehead to mat. Curling the toes. Inhaling, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, right leg to meet. Bending the elbows, lowering down. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking or jumping, top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Do it one more time together, and we'll play with doing it on our own without my lead. Body and brain learns with repetition. We have been repeating. Can we continue? Mountain. Can you engage it? Inhaling, lifting the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, right leg to meet. Plank, high or low. Exhaling, slowly lowering down. Forehead to mat. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward, top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Pausing the mountain. Taking note of your internal landscape right now. Meeting it with kindness. And then allowing yourself to play with moving through the motions without my words. Allowing yourself to meet in mountain when you have completed one round. Noticing the internal landscape as you rest in mountain, joining whenever it works for you. And then allowing yourself to continue trusting yourself, guiding yourself, knowing anything that happens is perfect. Allow them. And continuing through this flow with the other foot, noticing that may have caused a disturbance. Oh, I didn't notice what foot I used. Just allowing that to be perfect. And just playing. Take a guess. It's okay. And moving through the flow. And meeting in mountain whenever you get there. Noticing how mountain feels right now. Noticing the internal landscape. We'll do one more round on each side, knowing the body and brain learn with repetition. Finding your mountain, feeling the feet, tightening the legs, curling the tailbone, lifting through the chest, shoulders are back and down, arms strong, head towards the sky. Inhaling, arms lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, hands to shins, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, right leg, high lunge. Left leg to meet, high or low plank. Exhaling, bend in the elbows, lowering down. Inhale, head lifts. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, curling the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, palms to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back, right leg to meet, high or low plank. Inhaling, exhaling, bending the elbows, forehead to mat. Inhale, lifting the head. Exhale, forehead to mat. Inhaling, curling the toes, lifting up, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, forward to the top of the mat, forward fold. Rolling up, mountain. Pausing here. Notice Noticing how you feel. Softening the mountain. Feeling the soles of the feet on the ground. Noticing the internal environment. Do you feel as if you may have a little more control of that than when you first started? Can you notice? Gently coming down to the mat in whatever way works for you. And lying long, stretching the arms above the head, reaching the toes, stretching, wiggling in any way that feels good. Stretching long. Bringing the right knee into the chest. Feeling that right hip. Breathing into it. Softening it. Allowing the right leg to go long and bringing the left in. Breathing into the left hip. Softening it. Allowing the left leg to go long. Allowing the arms to rest by your sides. Maybe you stay in this pose, the final resting pose. Or listening to your own internal needs. Would you like to make any adjustments to this pose? And can you allow yourself to do that now? Taking control. Showing the mind that you do have control over what is happening internally. Recognizing that we cannot predict the future, but we can most certainly gain control internally to how we react to any changes. Can you allow yourself to notice that for yourself? Notice any changes that have happened by just showing up today for yourself, taking control of this last hour. Can you notice the internal landscape at this moment? Can you notice if the mind is trying to jump you out of this moment? And can you gain internal control by gently, kindly bringing the mind back? Maybe using the breath as an anchor, connecting the brain and the body. Feeling the body breathing in and feeling the body breathing out. practicing difficult breathing in difficult poses to prepare us for difficult times, disruptions, externally or internally. Feeling the breath as a way to control the mind and the body. Can you feel that? Can you allow yourself to play with a few moments of silence, noticing when the brain tries to take you away, and gently coming back to the inhale and the exhale, however it is in your own body right now. Just staying with the breath, playing with it as the anchor for the mind. Noticing that the mind tends to bring us away, knowing that we may have breaks in that where we can feel fully focused on the breath. But knowing that that's what the mind does, and rather than judging that, just meeting it with kindness and gently inviting it back. Remembering that the body and mind learn with repetition. And the more we practice the skill of bringing the mind back to the anchor of the breath, the more it will do that automatically. Therefore, changing the automatic response, shortening it. Being kind to yourself as you begin to explore, continue to explore your internal landscape, having more of a sense of control over it. Gently begin to whittle, move slowly in any way that feels good. Slowly stretching, bringing the body back. In whatever way feels good to you, coming back up to a seated posture. that works for your body. Allowing the gaze to remain soft or eyes closed. Noticing the internal landscape here. Noticing if your practice today has helped to shift that in some way. Feeling as if you have more control right now. And allowing yourself to play with the idea of building a structure or routine for yourself in whatever way that works or whatever way that means for you. Playing with adding a structure. Allowing yourself to see that you have more control than you may automatically believe that you do in any situation, no matter what it is. Inhaling, lifting the arms, stretching towards the sky. Exhaling, bringing the hands to the heart in whatever way works for you. Palms together, palms on the heart. Noticing how that feels. And gently allowing the chin to drop towards the chest. Remembering the intention you may have set for yourself in the beginning. Or maybe one comes to mind now that you can carry through your day. Allowing that. And gently opening the eyes if they were closed. Coming back to the room that you are in. And I thank you all for joining me for part 1. I hope it was helpful. Let us have control of our inner landscapes and create structure and routine in whatever way that means for us. And enjoy the week.